Hi folks, it's Double Crown here, and I'm continuing my New Age series of videos here, and this one is about gaming. And is gaming a form of mind control? So that's what I'm going to talk about now. And yeah, I mean, the reason I'm talking about this now is because gaming, the games that are being produced now are incredibly immersive. They're absolutely amazing graphically. The quality of these games you're getting is just incredible, and of course, it kind of draws you in. And don't get me wrong, I love gaming. I'm a gamer. And that's not going to change. I love gaming as much as the next person, but I'm just wondering what kind of effect it's having on an individual, on me, on a personal level, and whether gaming is being used as a form of mind control. Now, I've talked about mind control before in my previous videos. I've talked about office environments and how it's very easy to mind control somebody in an office environment or at work, because of course they've got you captive for so long, for so many hours of the day. But now you don't have to be in office, you don't have to be in a place of work. They can mind control you right at home, in the comfort of your own home. You can be mind controlled, because of course while you're playing the game, you might be playing for an hour, 2 hours at any given time, and they've got you captive for that period of time. So what kind of effects can it have on you? Well, gaming is, like I said, it's so incredibly immersive, the graphics and everything. It draws you in, but all the time that you're gaming, of course you're distracted. Fundamentally, that's one of the key concepts of this whole mind control mechanism, is you're distracted. In a workplace, for example, you're distracted with work and you're kept busy. But with gaming, again, you're distracted and you're kept busy with this kind of rewards and trophy system. And you kept busy, and as long as you're kept busy, you are distracted from everything else that's going on in the world, and you might start watching the news less. You might start engaging with other people less. You kind of give up on a lot of physical activities. For example, you might give up on a lot of exercise, or you might cut down on the amount of exercise you do. You might cut down on the quality of your food as well can suffer, because of course what's most important is, you get back to your gaming, which means you might rush your meal. Also, you might spend less time cooking, so the quality of the food that you're getting is reduced. You might be gaming late into the night, which means you might reduce the amount of sleep. So the quality of your life might actually suffer. And as long as the quality of your life is suffering, it means that you're willing to accept lower and lower standards. For example, you're willing to accept lower and lower standards about your physical body, about the amount of exercise you can do, how physically active you are. You're accepting a lower standard. You become weaker. You accept a lower standard of the food you intake. You might snack on McDonald's, or well, I shouldn't give any brand names out. You might snack on a burger. You might snack on something, whatever it is, fast food, low quality, high cholesterol, junk food, and you're going to eat that because it allows you to get back to gaming as quickly as possible. So you're accepting a lower standard. Also, housing, because the most important thing when you're gaming is your internet connection. you're concerned about how fast your internet connection is, how good it is, what your kill-death ratio is. You're concerned about all these kind of stats. But of course, what about the state of your housing? There might be taps that need doing. There might be a bit of paintwork that needs doing. So the quality of your housing can suffer whilst you're gaming. And of course, you're willing to accept poorer and poorer quality housing whilst you're gaming, as long as your internet connection is good. So you're kind of sacrificing one thing for another. So again, it's a kind of mind control. And in a way, are you playing to the globalist agenda in effect? Because all the time that you're gaming, of course, the key factor, as I've mentioned, is the fact that you're distracted. So you're not paying attention to the world news, what's going on around you. There are wars going on. There's politics going on. Countries are electing leaders and new leaders. Things of this nature are changing all the time. But as long as you're gaming and as long as you're content with gaming, all of this can play out, and you are none the wiser. You are actually, you've lost interest or whatever in the outside world, and gaming has kind of taken over your life. And you basically handed the globalists a victory on a plate, if you like, because as long as you're distracted, they can carry on with their plans unhindered. And of course, whilst you're gaming, you're not going to get involved in things like activism in politics or anything like that. Trying to deal with the system, trying to improve the system, and the globalists can pursue their agenda absolutely unhindered. Now, I got into gaming a while back. Well, I've always been into gaming. I've always loved gaming for a very, very long time, but I've got more heavily involved with it with the economic crash. And of course, it's meant that a lot of people have had more time to game, this economic crash. If you've lost your job, you can fill up a lot of hours with gaming, etc. You just wonder, with this economic crash, it's just allowed people to get into gaming. And whereas you were controlled in an office environment before, you are now controlled in the comfort of your own home through this gaming platform. And they can, of course, instill ideas into your head, and you become pretty docile as well. Now, there have been kind of studies about gaming, about whether it can cause violence. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe in any of that nonsense. In fact, I think gaming makes you less violent because it makes you docile. Once you're gaming, you are, it's a passive activity. It doesn't take a lot of physical strenuousness. It just means that you are very, very docile. You're passive, and you're not getting involved as much with the physical world, and it just means that you are much more easy to handle from a policing perspective and from the globalist agenda perspective. You are much more easy to handle and much more pliable whilst you're gaming. So that's something that you need to think about there. And as I said, I got into gaming a long time ago, and I actually got into gaming to get away from the mainstream media, because the mainstream media is full of such negativity. It's full of, they're always talking about wars. they're talking about politics. There's so much negativity in the world, there's so much negativity in the mainstream media, and quite honestly I got to a stage where I was listening to the mainstream media and I was no longer believing what they actually told me. I thought, well, they're actually telling me lies here on, national television. They are telling me lies on national television, and that's actually one of the things that drove me towards gaming more and more. And you kind of want to bury your head in the sand. You want to forget about what's going on around you, but of course once you get wrapped up in the world of gaming, it also means that you become very docile, and you're like a sheep. You are the globalists have kind of you've handed them a victory, and that is what's happening. The other aspect of gaming, of course, is actually engaging with people. Because whilst you're gaming, if you're playing single player, it's a very isolationist, a very solitary activity, a very solitary activity. Now you could be involved in multi-platform games, multiplayer games, and you'll be playing with, you might be playing Call of Duty, you might be playing with a whole load of people, you might be in a clan, you'll have a group of friends there. Chances are you've only ever spoken to them through a headset, and again, this is a problem because you're not actually engaging with people in the kind of normal way that people would in the past. You're just engaging with your particular clan, a group of friends, and you are engaging with them through a headset. It's not the ideal kind of human-to-human interaction that you want or that you should be getting. So gaming kind of breaks up communities. It makes people more divided, and of course communities can be broken in gaming as well, because what happens when the game dies? What happens when the servers get shut down? What happens when the platform is changed? You've got people have moved over from the PS3 to the PS4. Now the community is split. People have moved over from the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One. The community is split. And entire virtual worlds have gone down. The classic example of that is, and I've done a ton of videos on it, is PlayStation Home. Now, I used to do PlayStation Home. I've got a ton of videos on PlayStation Home. And of course, that entire platform, that entire virtual world was ended. And of course, any community that had grown there is completely destroyed. So this is a way that the globalists can actually control entire groups of people, masses of people. They can take games down, they can take servers down, they can take virtual worlds down. You become more docile, and the globalists are controlling you. Is it a mind control mechanism? You've got to ask yourself the question, what's your opinion? Is it a mind control mechanism? Don't get me wrong, I love gaming. I'm a gamer, always have been, always probably will be. But you might want to think about keeping your gaming time down a little and actually engaging with the real world now and again. Thanks for listening, and I will see you again soon. Bye for now.